Hey kids, JoJo here, and in a quick couple minutes I'm going to show you how to make this funky little planet using everything that you have at home. Alright, let's get started. If we go over here, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need saran wrap, and with the saran wrap you're going to put that on your countertop so that way when it gets dirty, you just pick up the saran wrap and chuck it in the garbage. You are also going to need scissors, a styrofoam ball, tissue paper, an old CD. Make sure you ask your mom and dad for a CD. Don't just take his random movie and use that. So ask mom and dad for one. And rubber cement or clear glue. Rubber cement is a bit stickier, that's why I like it. Okay, let's get started. Grab your styrofoam ball. This one I bought at the dollar store. You can use a tennis ball or a ping pong ball, whatever you want. And you're going to grab some tissue paper, any color you want. This tissue paper comes in standard sizes, and guess what? I got it from the dollar store too. Nice and cheap. And you're going to take your rubber cement or your clear glue, and the first thing you're going to do is put some glue all over your ball. Just like that. You don't need a lot of glue, just enough to kind of stick the tissue paper on. Now, the lazy man's way. Watch this. Take your ball and your tissue paper and just roll it together. Now, holding onto your ball, this is when you're going to take your scissors. And if you are a little bit younger, I say if you're probably younger than 5, you need mom and dad to give you a hand, or your older sister and brother. Hold your ball and cut off the excess, which is the extra tissue paper with your scissors. Now you're going to crumple it up. And now comes the fun part. This is how you make your planet all shiny. Take your rubber cement or your clear glue, and now glue everything all over everywhere. You want this ball soaked in glue. You want it as wet as possible, just like you got out of the swimming pool and the whole thing just fell in there. So soak the whole thing with glue, just like that. And as soon as it's all glued together and it's all wet, you have to let it dry on your saran wrap. Very important, let it dry on the saran wrap. Don't let it dry on the countertop, because you will not be able to take it off and you'll have tissue paper all over your countertop. Okay? So when you're done, it will look something like this. Okay? And of course yours will look a little bit better. I like my planet to have ridges on it. Ridges are bumps. But if you want, you can make it a little bit smoother. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. And when it's dry, usually it will take about 3 hours or so. You're going to take your scissors and cut your ball in half. And I have one that's already dry, so I already cut it in half. Okay? And remember, if you are smaller than kindergarten, you're going to need mom and dad to help you cut that. You want to cut it with a knife or scissors. Scissors is probably a lot easier. Cut it in half. Grab a CD. Now comes the easy part. Put a little bit of glue on your CD on one side. Put a little glue on your ball that's been cut in half here, and bloop, stick it together. And then do the same to the other side. Now be careful not to get too much glue on your fingers, because if you get too much glue on your fingers, it's going to stick everywhere. Okay? Just like that. And then you're going to put this on your saran wrap to dry. And I would say this one you want to dry maybe overnight. That way it for sure was not going to move. And when you're done with that, take a paper clip and string it through with some thread. And then you can hang it up and turn it around and woo, look at it go. And that's how you make your planet. Now before you go, here is your thought for the day. Think about this one. Kindergarten thought for the day. A herbivore eats plants. A carnivore eats meat. What do you think an omnivore eats? Check out the library or ask your mom and dad for the answer. Until next time, see you later, alligator.